Okay, I think it's recording. So just a minute. Hold on, I gotta get the phone. Mark, can you get the phone? Call from Harvard. Sorry about that. So I titled my presentation "Living the Dream" because that's the common expression of bed and breakfast owners, is that we are living the dream, and most of us really think that we are. I'm trying not to listen to my husband talk, so I gotta quit that. I wanted to start off and share a little video about Lanesboro, the community that we moved to, and I had a hand in this video, helping develop the content for it. And I'm going to share my screen, and it's about 4 minutes long. And then this kind of sets the stage of why we're living the dream here in Lanesboro.
Activity nestled in the bluffs of the Root River Valley in southeast Minnesota.
We're an agricultural community that embraced tourism as an economic driver. And with the natural beauty here and the emphasis on arts that coincide with that, we've been very fortunate to have a national recognition as a tourist destination in Minnesota.
Drawing hundreds of thousands of visitors annually, the community offers a multitude of amenities, from outdoor recreation such as biking, canoeing, hiking, unique shopping experiences, and a professional, nationally renowned theater.
We bring in over 25,000 people a year between our main stage performances, which see about 22,000 people, and our student matinee series.
Operated by the artists themselves, the Commonweal Theater Company also offers a 10-month apprenticeship program to young theater makers and is an essential part of the economic vitality of Lanesboro.
And they choose their own project, and they are fully responsible for producing their own project.
Lanesboro is also known for their unique lodging opportunities for visitors.
Lanesboro is the bed and breakfast capital of Minnesota. Small town of 750 some people. That's pretty good.
The community has emerged not only as a tourist spot, but also supports a diverse economy based on agriculture, the arts, and small business development.
A lot of the businesses were empty downtown, and through efforts with the chamber and the EDA and the city as well, is most of those businesses are filled now. A lot of those buildings have been renovated.
The community welcomes both newcomers as well as those that want to return to the small town lifestyle they grew up in.
My family still farms. We have a dairy farm outside of town. I graduated from Lanesboro and went off to college and worked a career for a while. And saw an opportunity to come back to town to raise my family.
And Lanesboro has been working diligently to identify the needs and variety of housing options for current residents and those considering a move to Lanesboro.
The EDA has done an economic analysis of building a senior living facility here. We worked with the University of Minnesota Extension on that project.
Surprisingly, when you look through this small town in this valley, there's numerous building sites within the city limits.
Another unique feature of the small town is the operation of their own utilities. Lanesboro is in the final stages of a major rehabilitation project of a historic structure that is also functional.
Behind me is our 152-year-old hydroelectric dam. It is one of 5 in the nation that is still operational to provide hydroelectric power. So we have benefits to this as a green energy aspect for our ratepayers.
Lanesboro's public schools are an integral part of the community's success as well. Students have consistently scored in the top 10% of students in the state of Minnesota's yearly standardized tests.
We've had, I bet we have 2 or 3 different graduates each year that get into an engineering program at a major institution across the country. And I routinely hear back from them that they're at the top of their class simply because of what they've been able to accomplish here in the small classes.
The average class size is 14 to 15 students at Lanesboro Public Schools.
Definitely easier to learn things because if you needed help, the teachers were there and they were able to help you because they didn't have as many kids to worry about.
Along with small class sizes, an expanded curriculum, and major investment in technology, The city is completing a multi-million-dollar expansion that includes 20,000 square feet for a new daycare center.
Lanesboro for 30-some years now has made daycare, childcare a priority within our school district. So our families have 100% access to childcare.
The city of Lanesboro is a vibrant, multi-generational community that melds tradition with innovation, utilizes natural resources responsibly, supports business development, and promotes the vitality and well-being of its citizens and visitors. Welcome to Lanesboro.
So that was a video that we did to provide to developers that have shown interest or are interested in coming into our community. And we did that this September. So anyway, Lanesboro is a town of 750 people, but it is the bed and breakfast capital of Minnesota. It has more B&Bs and small inns than any other community in our state. And we got designation by our legislature back, I don't know when, early 2000s possibly, for that designation. And it's something that we use for marketing. So one of the nice things about Lanesboro is that I have a little cohort of B&Bs that are here. So the three aspects of running a B&B that I was thinking about talking to you about when we were going to visit with you today was about a lot of things we talked about at the university. One of them, of course, is marketing. The second is business planning and resources, and then social capital. And when we bought the B&B here in 2015, have you all looked at the website or so you've seen, I don't have to show that to you then. So we bought this in 2015, the Haverstadt House Bed and Breakfast, and it's been a B&B since 1997. And Laura just gave me the thumbs up. She has stayed with us a couple times, so we're thrilled about that. We get a lot of our Iowa State friends here. And back when we bought the B&B, so much has changed in the 6 seasons that we've been here. You know, back then we were primarily doing print advertising and print ads and print materials. And I inherited a website that was, I couldn't even make changes to it. So, you know, I had to, the person that had control of it, I had to make all my changes through them. And now we're doing more, it's more digital. We do a lot of collaborative ad buys with our chamber. We depend a lot on our photography. We've spent a lot of money on photography to make our images for our website and our marketing just top of the line, because when you're competing for guests to come into your business, the website and the photographs are critical. We also work a little bit with OTAs, the Expedia for marketing. But we also have a book direct campaign. We want you to book directly with us. It's more economical for our guests to book direct rather than through the OTA. So if you book through Expedia, you should go directly to your hotels and your lodging places rather than through there. We do a lot of different efforts, both locally, regionally, and through the state, and then nationally to market our business. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later in social capital. Blogging is important to drive people to our website. And believe it or not, I hire that done. I do not do that myself. It's not that I couldn't, but people that work in marketing in the industry know it so much better than I do on how to get people to come to this region or to this to our B&B. So we depend on experts to help us with that. And our website, we're on our third website since I've been here. I built a new one in 2016 and then I rebuilt it in 2018 to reflect different changes and working to draw better people or more people to our business.
So Elaine, on your website, do you use like WordPress or something that you do totally yourself now?
Oh no, no, I have a web designer. He's out in Seattle, and he is one of the top web designers for the industry. It's just easier to work. You know, I hired somebody locally to do the one I built in 2016, but she didn't have the expertise that I needed and the connections. And he just his name is Jeff Logan, and he's been working in this industry for maybe 20 years. So that's, you know, getting the right resources and the right team together to help you with your marketing is critical.
Well, good investment because your site's beautiful.
Oh, thanks. Well, and you know, we're next spring, we're going to be making some more changes to it. So, you know, he tells me what we're doing and then I pay him to do it. So that's okay. So, so then when we first started getting our business plan together, and our resources were critical, and just finding the right people to have on our team, we hired a CPA that also owns a B&B. So he knows a little bit about the industry, and then you know, it's getting your bankers or your lawyers, your credit card processors, your booking engines. You know, you have all these team of people you have to pull together to help run your business. It's not me doing it by myself. I depend on all these other people. And then marketing professionals. And then the other part that was missing when we first came here, when I worked at the university, I developed relationships with all of you and with my colleagues at Iowa State or at Kansas State. And when I came here, I didn't have anybody. So I didn't have a computer person, and I didn't have other innkeepers. So developing those relationships was critical. So the social capital and developing relationship with other innkeepers, with restaurants in our town, with bankers, lawyers, all those made a huge difference. And so when I talk about social capital, I'm thinking about how when we came here, you know, I thought I was buying a business, but what I really did was I bought a community, because we can't succeed if our community doesn't succeed. And so one of the things we've made a huge effort in doing here is investing in the community as well as investing in ourselves. So we support the professional theater here. And in turn, then they give our guests reserved seats. We're the only B&B in the area that gets reserved seats for our guests at the theater. We support the Lanesboro Arts Organization. I'm on their board. I was their president. I stepped down from that this year. That's a regional arts organization that's well known for using art as economic development. And they've had a huge impact in this community. This is the only community in the country that the town is a dedicated art campus. So every decision the city makes, they consider the art aspect of that, and how it affects the community culturally or artistically. Let's see. And then building relationships in the industry. So through the state, through the Minnesota Bed and Breakfast Association, regionally, we joined with 11 other inns to form an Inns of Choice. So we market each other to our guests so that I can refer our guests to 10 other inns in the Midwest. And then nationally, we just became a member of Select Registry, which is a national organization of B&Bs, so that you go through quality standards for that. So those were all important for us, and they help us build relationships throughout the industry. So anyway, you have any questions or anything?
So when you and Mark decided to do this, did you look specifically at Lanesboro because you knew all these things, or were you just looking for a bed and breakfast, or did it just happen?
I had my little checklist.
Okay.
I'd been looking for, probably seriously for about 3 years before we bought this. And I had my checklist, and I knew I either wanted to be in a tourist community that was seasonal or in a university community, because I knew the university, you know, what the seasons would be like there and what our guests would be like. And one of the reasons for being in a tourist community, 99% of our guests are on vacation. They're here to have a good time. And they come in the door and they all have big smiles on their face because they just left the real world and they're here. So everybody's happy to be here. So that makes a huge difference. And we had looked in, I was living in Kansas when we bought this. We wanted to be closer to Mark's mom. So we had a geographic area that we were looking in. And this one, I didn't know Lanesboro before we came, you know, we did our research, but we did not know this community before we came here. But it's very well known for biking. The bluff country is beautiful. The glaciers didn't come through here, so there's lots of the bluffs, the river. It's great for trout fishing. It's great for tubing. So the season really runs May through October.
Your occupancy rate.
What's our occupancy rate? Well, not this year, but we could be probably May through October, we could probably 80%.
So Elaine, do you like it? Do you like being a host?
Yeah, it's been fun. We've had great people. Like I said, the guests are great. Repeat guests are gold. And we have a lot of those that come that have season tickets to the theater, or that come here every year to bike at a certain time or to meet their friends. And we've had one of our presidential candidates stay with us, Amy Klobuchar. So be still my heart. Before she announced, she celebrated her 25th anniversary with us. So that was fun. Yeah, we meet some just fascinating people. We have people from all over the world, especially Scandinavia, because this is the first area that Norwegians settled in Minnesota, this part of the world. So we get a lot of people from, not a lot, we get some from there.
So my
So
question
Elaine-
kind of follows Dave's, is that with so many bed and breakfasts and inns in one town,
Mm-hmm.
but you said 80%, so that's pretty good. I guess I
Well,
just.
everybody's full.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And we all cater to, we all are a little different. None of us are the same.
How are you surviving the pandemic?
Well, it's been interesting. We're probably about half occupancy of what we normally would have. we were closed for 61 days this spring. And that was tough. But, you know, we applied for our PPP and our EIDL loan, and we've just got a grant from the county that came through the CARES Act. So we'll be okay.
I can't say enough about that community of Lanesboro. There is so much to do. You picked a wonderful, wonderful community, and it is fun to go back. And you know, how many communities have two theaters, a professional theater and a community theater?
Yes.
Oh.
And this person here acts on stage sometimes. Mark and I've been in 2 musicals. We were in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and Music Man. Yeah. So, and then I'm on a online one coming up here in 2 weeks. I sing a duet with another innkeeper.
So Elaine,
Tell
was
them
your
about the
was
candy
your
bars.
candy bars?
What you want me to tell you about the candy bars, Laura? Is that what you said? She's muted again.
Yep, that's what I said.
Yeah, trick-or-treating is huge here. And we get, in a normal year, we get close to 300 trick-or-treaters, and this town is 750 people. And we give out the full-size candy bars, because that was in our contract when we signed up for this. But we didn't have that many this year, because we thought with the pandemic there wouldn't be as many, but we were wrong, and we ran out of candy.
So Elaine, I'm curious, so your undertaking, your dream when you transitioned from your past career to this undertaking, was it what you expected?
You know, no, because when I thought it would be I thought it'd be running this business. I thought it'd be making breakfast and, you know, that being a host and helping people get rejuvenated and all that. But like I said, it was much more. The community was something I hadn't expected about what, you know, because when we came here, it was like they kind of leech onto you and say, we need you to do this because you have these experiences. And so, you know, I've been president of the local EDA for over 4 years. And I feel like we are making it, we're making a difference. And one of the things we've done is we've connected with real well with University of Minnesota Extension here. We went through a entrepreneurial program, and one of their staff members was our coach. And I have to say, I see Dave on here. I still haven't found the local extension office. I don't even know if there is one. I don't think there is one. I don't know where they hide their people, but Jennifer's in our regional office that we've been working with.
That's where they are.
What's that?
That's where they are, regional office.
All of them, yeah.
They only have
I was
regions.
gonna ask, with all the B&Bs, is this friendly competition, or how does it work?
Yeah, we have innkeeper meetings, and we get together and we share ideas, we share information, we refer guests to one another. So yeah, it's mostly good. There might be a couple of stinkers here and there, but you know, we work throughout the county, referring people. Because on weekend, and Dave, you probably know, on weekends, it's crazy down here. Yeah.
How many bedrooms do you have, and are you a local employer? Do you bring in maids and cooks, or how?
Yeah, I have, on a normal year, we have probably 3 housekeepers that we employ all part-time. And then my husband works full-time for me. He just doesn't get paid much. But we hired, done what we need done. You know, a lot of the work we would have done ourselves in remodeling or that stuff, we hire that done primarily now. But yeah, we this year though, we only had one housekeeper. That was part of our pandemic plan to keep our guests safe. Because I knew that I could trust her and she wouldn't go off and get exposed to COVID and bring it back to me or to our guests. So Mark and I did a lot more work this year. So that was a lot of work. Some days, lots of laundry. I did the laundry this year.
Oh no. What's a day like when you're in season? What's a day like for you?
What's a day like? Well, the alarm goes off at 6 and we make breakfast, and we make, Laura could probably describe it, but we make a full breakfast, usually 2 courses, a fruit course and a main entree. And I describe it as home cooking like my grandma used to make, or my mom. We don't do the fancy glazes and sauces, and it's more home cooking. And our guests seem to really like it.
You do a lot of local too.
Yep. Yeah, we buy everything locally as we can, and everything is homemade. Not everything's made from scratch.
Elaine is a great cook.
Thanks, Laura. And I've used her honey, so. But breakfast, normally in a normal year, we serve around a big table. And I would serve, I do the serving at 8:30, and then after the guests are done, I would sit down at the table and talk with them and answer questions about that they have about the Haberstead House or the community, and help them make plans for the day. And then they go off and do their thing, and they check out by 11, and we do check-ins at 4. So between 11 and 4 is when most of our housekeeping happens. And yeah, and then we greet our guests with a glass of wine or a beer and help them get settled in and send them off to dinner. So, and Mark and I collapse about 9 o'clock at night.
How many local restaurants do you have?
How many local restaurants? Well, let's see. Probably 6 or 7 in this community. And then and just within a 10-20 minute drive, there's a lot of little restaurants. And the thing about Lanesboro, everything is locally owned. There's no chains. So they're all family owned businesses. The downtown looks like it did 100 years ago. People like that.
So you don't provide any other than just the breakfast, and then any snacks or anything then in between, or?
Yeah, sometimes we have cookies or chocolates or whatever, but we just a glass of wine or a beer when they check in. So, yep, that's what we're licensed to do, breakfast.
Elaine, what condition was the building in when you bought it? Did you have to do a lot of maintenance on the building, any upkeep? And who provides that for you?
Yeah, that's my husband's job. He's in charge of maintenance and landscaping. And we also hire our son, who teaches at Iowa State, in the summer to come and do landscaping and gardening part of the time. But it's been a B&B since '97, so it was in really good shape when we bought it. Other than we have painted the exterior just to keep it top notch. We didn't do it all at once. We did a site a year, and we hired a local contractor to do that. And since we've been here, we have also renovated 2 bathrooms in the carriage house and the Amish suite, and made them nicer than most people's bathrooms in their homes, so that people will want to book here, and new furniture and stuff. Like, we've done a lot of work, spent a lot of money on it.
Do you only vacation in the winter?
Yes, in 2019, we did get to go away for a couple days to for a sibling reunion, but we don't take any time off May through October. So it's hard work. And that was the other thing I hadn't counted on. I thought there'd be natural days off. Yeah, so we only get days off during the season when we take them.
So the community doesn't have any
What are your winters like?
winter sports or activities? Does it close in the winter?
Normally we close. We tried being open one year round to see what kind of business we could attract. We have cross-country skiing here in the winter, primarily if we have snow. So we, this year with COVID, we're closed right now because our restaurants and bars are mostly closed except for takeout. And so we're closed now through the first week of January, and then we are going to just rent out our carriage house because we can do that safely. It's got a separate entrance and we can do no contact. And so we'll just rent that out until spring. And I already have, it's mostly booked January and February. I just have a couple of spots left because people want to get out of the cities. Yeah.
What part of Minnesota are you in?
We're in the southeastern corner. We're just about a half an hour south of Rochester, the Mayo Clinic. Oh. So we do get a little business from that. And then we're as close to Decorah, Iowa, where Luther College is. And so we're pretty close to the Iowa border. And our guests come from Iowa, Wisconsin, and Minnesota primarily. So, because we're just down on that little corner. We do get some from Chicago, Michigan, South Dakota, Nebraska. So that come here primarily to bike or to go to the theater.
How do you think people find out about you?
Well, this marketing genius that I hired for my website made sure that when people search for a bed and breakfast in Lanesboro, they'll find us. So that's one way.
Are you on VRBO? And
no, we used to be on VRBO. We're not anymore. We're just on Expedia. Yeah, they do a lot of marketing for us, but there's a lot of things that I don't like about working with those companies also.
Was VRBO too expensive or didn't get you enough clients, or what was the deal?
That had to do with bed and breakfast. You probably have heard of bedandbreakfast.com. That got bought out by Expedia. And at one time we were members of bedandbreakfast.com. And so all of our listing through that was on VRBO and Expedia. And then Expedia did away with bedandbreakfast.com. So our VRBO listing went away. So and a lot of our friends are on Airbnb. We haven't listed there because we haven't had to, or booking.com because we have enough business. So, yeah, a lot of it's word of mouth. A lot of it's referrals from, other guests. We get a lot.
How old is the house?
How old is 1897? It's in really good shape. It used to be a hospital and a care center, but the woodwork is just beautiful. It's been well taken care of.
So the 80% occupancy is enough to
in October.
Yeah, right. During your season, that's enough to keep you covering the bills, etc., but still not so full that you can go do maintenance and things like that. Is that where the balance is for you?
We don't do a lot of maintenance during that time. Other than, what we have to do outside, but the bathroom remodels, that was all winter projects, so we could shut down. Yeah. Yeah, and it's a seasonal business, but there's enough income during that tourist season that sustains us year round. So and that's critical. And that's why this year is hard, especially for a lot of small businesses, because we didn't make as much money this year. So this winter is going to be really, really tough on our restaurants and our bars and our hospitality industry. So darn COVID.
What's happening with COVID there? Is it settling down or moving up or?
Yeah, our cases in our little county keep growing. Every day there's more. Our school is all virtual except for kindergarten through 3rd grade. They've made the decision to keep them face to face because they learn better. But the governor has shut down our restaurants and our bars, takeout only. Our, fitness centers are closed. But yeah, it's pretty quiet.
So what do your guests do? Do they pick up dinner and bring it back or?
Well, we don't have guests right now because we're closed. But I offered that to people that they could, if they got takeout, because a lot of people came here because they felt safe. They thought staying here would be safer than going somewhere else. And so they would get takeout and they might eat at one of our patio tables or in their room. But there was a lot of options in the community for them to eat outside or safely. So, but now it's too cold. Yeah. But our carriage house, the only one we're renting out now, has a kitchen. And I mean, they have a dishwasher. They can do what they want over there. They don't even have to go out to eat.
So is your place in town, walking distance to downtown, or?
Yes.
Cool.
We're about 5 blocks from downtown. We're in the south end of town, quiet neighborhood, the best street in town. I think everybody decorates their house for Christmas. Everybody decorates for Halloween. Just a great neighborhood.
I live on the only street in my town.
Oh. You must have a smaller town than I do then.
It's a great time to live in a town with only 300 people.
Yeah. We like small town living.
Are there any stoplights?
There's only one in our county. And that is almost, it's on the edge of the county going towards Rochester. So one movie theater. We have to go to Rochester to go to Menards or Lowe's, or we doctor at the Mayo Clinic. That's where our doctor is. So there are disadvantages of small town living. Yeah, but we can get just about everything we need here.
So I'm interested, what's your favorite part of this endeavor and what's your least favorite?
My favorite part is probably the people we meet. Oh my gosh. It's just, we were at the table one day and there was a guy, he was in his 90s. And he was a doctor in the Philippines, back in World War II. It was like, oh my gosh, and he had, people have great stories. Everybody has a story to tell. And and we get great guests. Just,
So you're going to write a book?
No, the previous owner did that. I sell it. I don't know. I've had people ask me if they could be in my book. Guests that have interesting experiences.
I hear you have experience writing a murder mystery.
Elaine, we were regulars at a bed and breakfast down in Southern Oregon, and the people that owned it until they were into their early 90s, which was fascinating. What's your trajectory? How long are you in this for?
Not that long, you know, because and the problem has been those grandchildren that showed up since we've been here, and we weren't thinking we would have them for a few years, and now we have two, and it's really hard to see them when you're working like we do. So yeah. So no, I'm not going to do this till I'm in. No. I want to
But
have
you have
another
a plan,
life after
right?
this. Yeah. Oh yeah.
You do have a plan, right?
Yeah, we do. We do. So, and we're going to have another life after this. So that's the plan.
So does the house have ghosts?
No. The previous owner would like to tell you it did, but I don't believe it does. Nothing weird has happened since I've been here. So, no.
So what business do you want to go into next?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. That's been the problem since I've been here. I've had so many ideas. I don't know. I don't know, Laura. I think there'll be something. It might involve rural arts. How's that?
Sounds great. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Not quilting.
No, and not me. I mean, I would think it would be more promoting arts in rural areas. Since I've been on the Lanesboro Arts Board, it's been an eye opener on what you can do for the arts community to help people. So.
Art, food, agriculture, it all goes together.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
And we have
So,
grants for
and
that.
how many things have you been president of?
Oh my God. Well, I'm currently president of the Minnesota Bed and Breakfast Association. We have our annual meeting next week via Zoom. I'm just terrified for that. Yeah, and then the EDA, and I've been president of the Lanesboro Arts. I was president of our church in Manhattan, Kansas before I came here. That was a good reason for leaving Kansas. If any of you have been president of your church before, I know Laura has been, so. Oh my gosh.
So how does that compare to being president of ACE?
I learned a lot in ACE.
You have to remember when she was president of ACE too.
Yeah, Robert and I had in Faith, Frankie, we all had those experiences with Third Eye, and when I was president of the church in Manhattan, Kansas, the pastor left after 30 some years, and all of a sudden I had all these staff reporting to me. It was awful. And then here, Lanesboro Arts, our executive director left, and the staff, when I was president, the staff, it was too much like working, and that's why I had to become not president of that organization.
I sense a pattern here.
Yeah. So, but I really like the EDA work. To me, it's kind of like, and it's continuing what I was doing at Iowa State and Kansas State, helping make people's lives better and providing resources for entrepreneurs and business people in the community, and getting grants to do trainings. And we just finished a project with the Center for Rural Entrepreneurship in Lincoln, Nebraska. So, you know, there's so many opportunities out there to do so much. So I felt like my career in extension and in ACE prepared me well for this, probably made it so that I could do this. And you'll find that in the bed and breakfast, you know, the people that run bed and breakfast, they come from a vast professional backgrounds, and they're interesting people. So it's been fun. Lots of engineers here in Lanesboro for B&B owners, and one guy that's a CEO. He works with CEOs and helping them be nice. And I said, how come you don't work with universities? Work with administrators. Oh yeah, it's interesting people. So
How are the state agencies that you've had to work with, like Department of Health? Are they helpful or?
yeah, our local contact that we work with, he's great. He helped us with our whole community come up with our business plan for how we would operate during the pandemic. But prior to that, he's always been helpful to answer questions, and primarily it's at the local level we have contact with them. But I did get audited by the state for my taxes and sales tax in April because of pandemic, because the state owed me money for sales tax because I gave back so many refunds for people that canceled that they had to audit me. But that was a real interesting experience. But they were great. Yeah, they're all good. I found everybody that we've worked with here to be very helpful. We've also done a lot of work with SMIF, the Southern Minnesota Initiative Foundation, and the Blandon Foundation up northern Minnesota. Oh, great organizations.
Are you part of the Driftless area then?
Yes.
Have you worked with the Driftless group that's trying to promote their farm and food and artists and things?
Our chamber is more than me personally, but our area does work with the Driftless area. And the Driftless area is southeast Minnesota, northeast Iowa, southwest Wisconsin, and northwest Illinois is where the Driftless region is. So it's a great place to bring to come up with your RV, Chris Sigurdson.
We went through there not long ago.
Well, you didn't stop.
We're social distancing. It's really easy for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But hey, we're going back.
Good. Good.
So how far are you from Kansas City?
About 6 hours. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll come visit.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, I'd like that.
Getting tired of crazy town there, Faith?
It's interesting. We got the be positive speech today, so I'm being positive.
Yeah. Yeah, so any other questions or anything? This has been great. I do Laura and I do a weekly Zoom with Iowa State communications people. So we see each other frequently.
We talk politics. We had a lot to talk about this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so that's been great to reconnect with everybody. One of the positives of the pandemic for me. So, yeah.
Jeannie Gleason's retirement was a great time, wasn't it, Dave?
Yeah, that was fun. There were a lot of interesting people from really a very broad spectrum in that discussion.
Yeah, a lot of ACE people I haven't seen in ages.
Aw.
It was nice.
Dave, do you want to talk about what you plan to talk about in March?
Sure. So I have a presentation that I put together for that I use it for some 4-H groups and others like that on how fine art in museums influences your photography, and how that moves then to things like faces and other stuff like that. So, and I was talking to Robert and said, you know, I got it done already, and it's I used it originally for actually for a photo club in Green Valley, Arizona. And they said, well, would you do something for our photo club? And I thought, yeah, okay, sure. You know, and I figured half a dozen people sitting around a table or something. I said, how many people are in this club? I said, 800. Oh, well, maybe I better crank up my game a little bit here. So anyway, so it's an interesting presentation, and Robert and I talked and emailed, and I thought you could certainly share with you all too. It's, you know, it's a fun thing.
Our time's about up. Really appreciate everybody joining us today.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, thanks for doing this again.
Yeah,
I appreciate it, Elaine. That was really good.
Oh.
And I just wanted to let people know that I'm not shy, but where I live, 4 miles outside of a town of 50,000 plus people, we don't have Wi-Fi. We have very poor internet, and not using the video, and I'm doing it on my phone. I started out on my computer, so just to get a better signal.
Does anybody know anybody in Montana Extension?
Not anymore.
I used to.
Yeah.
I don't know. So my son had an interview yesterday as an extension agent.
Oh, really?
Tommy Bass does Eden stuff. Tommy
Bass.
Faith. Yeah.
Is your son graduating?
Yes, he is.
Oh my God.
How is that possible?
Finally.
Didn't he just start college? Oh
no. Anna Grace just started college. He was supposed to graduate before she started.
Gosh.
Yeah. I remember I was pregnant with Anna Grace when we were doing all the planning for Media Relations Made Easy. That tells you it's time to update that curriculum because she's in college now.
That was in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're gonna need a whole new chapter on fake news.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh God.
Sorry for my poor lighting, but I just had to sit outside. I'm sorry. I wanted to say, hey, okay, front lighting so we can see faces. And I went, nope, too bad. I'm going to sit out here and enjoy it.
Yeah, it's down to 78 and I'm freezing.
That's right. But I can't rub it in because there's no snow in Fargo. So
no.
Get ready to lose friends on Facebook, Becky.
So March again, you said, Robert?
Yep. We'll do it in March.
Mark the calendar. These are great.
These are good.
Thank you
Well,
very
it's
much.
great to see all of you, and it's kind of great to be back. So I'll see you in March.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
But I haven't decided if I'm paying retiree dues or active dues because I've already got some freelance work that I might want to enter.
There you go.
I've discovered how spoiled I was when I had to work the day